Pulaski County Fiscal Court. This morning I've asked Ms. Janie Slavin if she'd be kind enough to open us up in the Pledge of Allegiance. If y'all could please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. You've all received a copy of those. What would be your pleasure? Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Have no old business discussed. We do have a few items on new business. I'd like to bring up. First, we have a resolution for Southeastern Water Association. This is just a resolution allowing them, giving them permission to make cuts as needed when they need to lay lines. It basically just says any disturbed areas would be reclaimed to its pre-construction condition.
Is that just on the roads they got listed here, or all of them?
Just on those, that's a big
Project
big
going in out
project
there.
for improvements, upgrade.
Yeah. Motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and we got a few changes, I guess, we want to look at making in our road department and the organization there. We've discussed it in the past. I want to try to bring this to you today. The first thing that I would like to do, we currently have a road department office manager position. I'd like to change that position and make that a road department secretary, and the change that would also adjust the salary. Starting would be $28,732, and after 12 months it would go to $30,732. And basically, I feel like for that position, the way it is now, to make more than our workers in the road department, I think it's unfair. So I want to change that position to secretary rather than office manager.
Motion.
What is the current pay on it?
Current
pay is 33 something.
Yeah, the current pay is
34.
Yeah, it starts off now higher than the guys that actually work in the road department. So
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And then with that done, the next item, I would like to recommend Nate Boyd to fill that position as secretary. So we'll be starting off at $28,732.
Did Donita and them talk to him?
I don't know
Come in yet?
if Donita has talked to him. I've talked to him on multiple occasions, and
I just want somebody that can work with them girls back there. I mean,
he's I think he'll be capable. He's done office work. He's been in worked for Kroger and Walmart in their loss prevention departments. He's also a CDL driver. He worked for a recycling company down in Ferguson for a while, but of late he's been working in an office environment.
a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Mike, as with all, it's on a 6-month probationary period, so
Yeah.
we'll know quick.
I'm fine with that too, and I think he'd be quite all right with
I
that.
just
as
want
well.
somebody that can work with them back there, because I know it's put a lot of load on Jessica and Donita and
Yeah.
Joan, because somebody
Yeah.
over there can't do the POs and all that.
They'll have to work closely, training him on how to do the work too. Okay. Next then, I want to, of course, you know that Jordan and Ryan have been basically working in a capacity as road supervisor and assistant supervisor, even though they've not been getting the pay for that. So in fairness to them, I would like to name them interim road supervisor and interim assistant road supervisor until such a time as we can identify who's going to be those roles. I need to
Is
do
that
this
something we can do,
separately.
Martin? I mean,
Well, I think the court is going to have to approve that. But I think the question becomes whether or not those are protected or non-protected positions if it went on for the long run. If someday down the road, if they remain in that position and your the administration changed, are they subject to, is that a protected position or not? And I can't answer that question right now. I'd need some time to research it. My tendency is to believe it's not, that they would revert back to, if there was a change of administration, they would revert back to their old positions.
we did that once before, and I think, Joan might know this better than I do, but when Dennis done this, they said we could do it for a year.
That's the problem, is it?
It can't be for,
Can't be for the whole term.
Yeah,
No.
it can turn in, because then they just argue, well, it's form over substance. I
Yep.
believe they were an actual.
They wouldn't let us do Dennis that time for the whole term.
Yeah.
And we did, Dennis done it for a little while, and then he went back, and then they hired Billy Bob to finish out.
So if you do it,
Can we do this for a year?
Do it for the year and take it from there.
what's been their title up to this point?
Well, Jordan is
Jordan has been
assistant road supervisor, and
Ryan's been tile
Ryan's
foreman.
foreman.
So you want to make both of them interim?
Interim
assistant.
interim supervisor, interim
Based
assistant.
on the 1-year rule.
Is that 1 year? I think that's what they told us.
it was, because for road supervisor, there's a test that has to be taken down at the state, and until that is taken, you can't act as a road supervisor or superintendent, however, different counties have different names.
But I do think there's a time limit. I don't think they can do it the whole 4-year term.
I think that's right, but I'd have to research it to be sure.
I think you either have to take the test or have 3 years' experience at that job.
I think you really even have to take the test regardless.
Okay.
So Dennis had to go take it.
Dennis had to, yeah. I mean, it's not anything rocket science, but it's still it's still something that has to qualify you.
So maybe take it like Mike said, just do it a year to do it for a year and then revisit it.
I think,
So will he have to go take the test to do it for a year?
I think so.
I think it would be,
You will, yeah. I think you will, Jordan.
but just to prepare everybody, my thought would be you can't appoint the same people for another year. I think
You can't do it for a year and then reappoint them again for another
that's
year.
my thought, but I'll look
I
at
think
that
you're
and
right.
see. Because that usurps
I would think you're right. 'Cause
intent.
that'd be the same thing.
Yeah,
it'd be similar to a temporary employee. You can't
so
continue.
the court's gonna have to think about it over the next year.
Or put them in them two positions permanent.
Yep.
Which the road supervisor is one of your appointments that you get, and that they lose their protection, when and if an administration comes in, or if, not a matter of if, it'll be someday.
I think, I don't want to speak for him, but I think I know that neither wants to be named that because of they would like the careers here and they don't want to.
And I understand that too, but
Yeah,
that's how come we don't want to do anything to hurt them either. I think we can do it for a year, but I think that's the limit.
And then what you're saying, after that year, if we
I don't
want to do
know.
it again, we can rehire them for another year?
No.
No.
I don't think you can.
Not as road supervisor.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to wait
Put
till.
them back in their other jobs
Yeah.
and hire somebody else as road supervisor, but I don't think you can still keep renewing theirs.
Yeah.
If you want to wait till the next meeting, I can give you I can be more specific about it, but it's up to you guys. I think you're good for a year, but I can't say that with 100% certainty.
Who- But they've not been, Jordan's not getting the road supervisor pay right now. He's not the interim road supervisor. He is the assistant still.
My
So he's not
suggestion would be,
done it
let's
at
just
all
go
yet.
ahead and do that, and if you report something next month, then we can take it back, if we need to, but since we're already discussing it.
First court meeting in January, will they have to do it again?
You got to, yeah,
Yes.
the whole,
That would probably be the best time to do it, realistically. Because we will have to do it again in January.
Gonna table this then, till January? Or you wanna-
I think it'd be best, and that way Martin can find out for sure.
because they deserve to know, and y'all do too.
Okay. Table that if you'll get the information for us.
Will do.
Next item then, I would like to recommend that we move Johnny Whitaker to a foreman position. Right now, he's an operator, and
Motion.
Second.
Them boys need the help, and Johnny's a good guy.
we have a motion, a second, to move Johnny Whitaker to a foreman. Any further discussion?
Have we talked to Johnny? Is he wanting?
Yeah, Johnny's, I think, been looking for something like this for a while.
That's fine by me.
So we've got a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Judge, in doing that, do you need to identify someone as an operator?
We need to be on the lookout, so maybe by the next court meeting, we'll find somebody that we can put in that position.
Does this go in effect today as him foreman, or when's it gonna go in effect, Joan?
Yeah, we can, with the
It
next
would-
pay period, I guess, whenever.
It would probably be the next pay period.
Or do we wait till January, and that way we get everything in order? And
Well, I mean, it can be done because it's not like he's gonna have to, I mean, it can be done right now. So, can we put it effective as the pay period allows?
Yeah.
That way we don't split a pay period from one position to another.
While we're talking about pay periods, I need to talk about my tractor guy. He needs to be moved up to operator's pay. He's been here for a year. And he's still getting labor pay instead of operator's pay. Can we do that?
Was he hired as an operator?
He's been on the tractor the whole time, but when we brought him in, it was skilled
He was
labor.
skilled labor?
Until he got through his probationary period.
Recommendation from,
I mean, that's up to you all. Yeah, it's not my call.
recommendation
But it's-
from supervisor for that.
Well, not necessarily, but
Yeah, well, it's,
unless he jumps up and yells over there.
okay, I just didn't know if that
No, you didn't.
it required a recommendation.
No, either. He's been asking me, and I,
You can
You
ask
talking
him,
about Johnny,
ask him
Steve?
what he thinks.
no,
Who we talking about, your tractor?
talking about Floyd, John Floyd.
John Floyd?
he was hired in as a skilled laborer, and he has been through his probationary period and has been acting as an operator with equipment. So Mike is recommending that he'd be, at this time,
Off his probationary period and receive that pay.
You making a motion?
Yep, I have to, or can, I don't know.
Why don't you make that into a motion and we'll
Make
make
that into a motion.
You got all that, Alicia?
I can't.
From skilled labor to operator.
We have a motion, do we have a?
Second.
And a second, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And as with Johnny, that will be as soon as the pay period allows.
Okay. And that brings us to our department reports. So Jordan, if you'd like to speak on behalf of the road department?
The only thing I've got today is our road work request, and I believe
Got a speed limit on there.
The
I think
first,
there's 3.
yeah,
I've got one.
Jason's got one, 20 mile an hour on Cliff Road.
Second.
Which road was that? I'm sorry.
Cliff Road.
Cliff Road.
Cliff.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mike's got one too.
I've got one too.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, what's the next road? Would be
Memory
Henry
Lane.
Lane, 15 mile an hour.
Motion.
Second.
a motion and a second to make that 15 miles an hour memory lane. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? R1 is
Sycamore Springs Drive, the third.
motion. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Judge, one other item here. Hey, Aaron, you talked about Piney Grove in Glenn's district, and there was some confusion of the speed limit.
25 mile an hour posted and it got taken through the court.
It was taken through as a 15, but it's posted as a 20.
25.
Okay. Make a motion, stay at 25. Okay?
Which one is that?
Piney Grove Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to keep Piney Grove at 25 miles an hour. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we need a motion and a second for the road work request in general.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. And not on the agenda, but I think Johnny Kane would like to speak to us about our Pulaski County Park seasonal camping routes.
You each have two pieces of paper stapled together. First one's 2018. Those are the rates that we had for our seasonal camping sites. They've actually been the same since we came into office. I'm proposing right now that we increase those starting with next year's camping season, and the proposed rates are marked on the back. That's a 10% increase from where they were this past year.
How many seasonal sites? Do you know how many we have?
It's
off the top of your
a
head?
percentage, Judge. We're not allowed to go over a certain percentage, and we've increased the number of sites. I think that the application that I had to submit through the Corps said no more than 20% of our sites should be available. So that puts our number somewhere around 20 that would be available. On this, there's only 17 listed. We've never filled all 17 in the 4 years, but we've been real close. We've been 13, 14, 15 range. So if we need to increase the sites available, we can do it, but I have a specific list of sites that are available right now. The one thing I'll say about them is it's something that our patrons like. There's a certain group of them that have been used to this, and it's a good thing that we do this for them. But if it comes down to a point where they don't like the rates, we're not having problems renting sites. They'll get rented every weekend if they're not utilized as seasonal.
That's one of the complaints I've had, is that campers can't get in because of people that tying them up in seasonal.
Something that's not on there as well, I'm doing some research right now. Our cabin rates are essentially at cheap hotel rates right now. I think we need to look at that between now and January the 2nd, because our cabins are not cheap hotels. They're really nice, and I want to make sure that we're within the market, but I think people that are utilizing our cabins need to pay market rate for them, and over the last 18 months, they've been getting it at a much discounted rate. And we did that for a purpose, to get traffic. I think we've gotten traffic now, and I think we need to get in touch with the market on that. But I'll bring that back to court before January the 2nd.
Today, you're asking for permission just to increase the seasonal rates.
That's correct.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Next in will be our treasurer's report. You've got a few things, Joan.
I do. Excuse me, because I've got some sort of, I don't know what. The first thing that I have would be your monthly, well, not your monthly anymore, but your bill list for this court meeting.
Received a copy of that. Have any questions, or what would be your pleasure? I do have a question about that.
Sure.
Something stuck out to me. When we did our phone telecom audit group,
Right, yes.
that was a good thing, but I was under the impression that wasn't going to last more than 2 years or 18 months, something like that. Are we still?
They have done other, they have done the cell phones, they have done, after our initial, they have gone back and done more, so we are almost out of it. I think it has just a few, maybe 6 months, but I think we're doing, it's just very,
So we kind of re-upped on a different project.
we had to
then?
re-up because they have done like the cell phones and so many things that, I think they've even done Spectrum, am I correct, Ross? They've done Spectrum, they've gone above and beyond, of course, no one goes above and beyond without wanting paid for it, so, but that was it.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The second item I have is the quarterly for July through September. I apologize for it being so delayed, but waiting for the state. And so I have that item for your approval.
Motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
We got one opposed. Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Wilson,
Yes.
Turpin,
No.
Weldon,
Yes.
Maxey,
Yes.
Yes.
Overtime.
All right, motion carries.
The next item I have is the October bank reconciliation.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And the last item I have would be fund transfers, and these are the quarterly occupational tax revenue to 911 road, jail, and industrial development. And that's all budgeted, but we still have to do the transfer form.
Motion.
We got a motion, and we got two motions. We got
Second.
a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Next item is citizens' comments, seeing there are none. Do you have something, Mark?
Not as a citizen, but kind of.
You are a citizen.
Yeah, I am. Citizen first.
Tommy Barnett.
There you
That
go.
time he spoke as a citizen.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody about the I never can say that word, pilgrimage in the park. Next Thursday morning, it's a Thanksgiving Day morning run, and so our office and the sponsors of that have teamed up with God's Food Pantry, and so we'll have their trailer out there that day, and if anybody would like to make donations, I know there's a lot of people watch this on Facebook, so, or you can bring them by my office or Phoenix Preferred Care over on University Drive, or even take them to God's Food Pantry. But if you don't bring them to race day, we'll have the God's Food Pantry van out there, and appreciate any donations that we could get for that organization. It's a time of year where they really need them.